Hi guys, this is Vogue Baby, aka Lauren.
And I'm Reese, aka Reese.
So we actually have a film review to do today. I couldn't get my words out then. For 28 Years Later, which we watched last night for this one's birthday, and it's his birthday today.
Woohoo.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Bootsy.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
Bootsy. Bum crack.
Chicka chicka.
It's my birthday. Oh my gosh, that's
What?
fitting because today I've turned 28 and we are about to review 28 years later.
Oh yeah, that is quite perfect.
And also,
actually.
what's weird, get this, who produced 28 years later? Like the manufacturing, not director, the company.
Ooh, I don't know.
It was Sony. Sony make games. PlayStation is made by Sony. Got the Sony logo. Also, we got a Pink Floyd thing. He did a song about a brick in the wall, which could represent brain dead, which is zombies, which suck loads of blood, which is a bit like the Lost Boys. And also on top of that, another bit of product placement. So one of the first films in modern era, not of all time, in the last 25 years,
Yeah.
to introduce zombies to start running was obviously 28 Days Later. They then did a remake of Dawn of the Dead called Dawn of the Dead 2 years later, which was made by Zack Snyder. And he chose to have zombies running because he was inspired by that film. And what to the parody of that film? Shaun of the Dead, which also happens to be a poster on that wall. So everything in here connects us.
It's all come together, has it?
Except you got a Dark Crystal shirt on that, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that doesn't really fit the theme. Although I did wear this yesterday, and yes, I know that's gross, but I like wearing.
Take it off.
No,
Take it off.
I like wearing t-shirts 2 days in a row, as long as they're clean and as long as I don't smell like BO. And yesterday I got a lovely compliment off. I'm guessing there were two people in about their 40s, maybe, who were like, "Oh, I like your t-shirt, Dark Crystal." I was like, "Yeah, cheers." Anyway, we're going to get straight onto the review. So, for the beginning, I found it to be not what I was expecting, but I did enjoy it very, very much. I did think it was going to be more of a culty kind of village where, you know, everybody's a little bit backwards and they're kind of gone back to the old ways. But it wasn't that, and I was really surprised.
I thought it was wicked. Well, obviously, we said this is a spoiler review. Well, obviously, this will contain spoilers, but I loved it. Because originally, we'll kick this off, I was excited for the film, but what really made me want to see it, there's two things. We'll come to that later, but it was like out of context. Well, three. One of them was everyone said about the Teletubbies. So I was like, I have to see it now, and that goes in with the opening scene, like the Teletubby intro. At first,
I mean,
was
if you're
like,
growing up as a kid in the 2000s, then, you know, you do have a deep connection watching
with the Teletubbies. Especially in Britain. I mean, I don't know if the Teletubbies is a thing in America.
No.
I know a lot of people are confused by the ending, which we'll come to that. But obviously, that's more of a British thing. But yeah, the opening scene with the Teletubbies and then the poor kids.
Which was very tense. The whole film I found more tense than I have with any film in my life.
There was something
I wouldn't say I found it scary, but I found it very tense. I don't know,
because I've always thought, technically, Danny Boyle always used to say it wasn't a zombie film. Because they're technically not brain dead. They're just like normal people, but they're infected with so much rage, they've lost all humanity. But that being said, I didn't notice it. Everyone in the reviews, it does apparently use the word zombie in this film.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know what scene it was on.
It?
I don't remember what scene it was on.
I vaguely remember something.
But loads of people in the reviews are saying that they call them zombies now. So I guess technically they are zombies. But, yeah, so call them what you want. I actually found them really scary. Like, the way they moved, I'm not sure if it's because their years have passed, but a lot of them are naked.
I mean, I felt...
One of them is very naked with a massive...
You know what? Although that was prosthetic.
Yeah, it is fake.
They had a child actor.
They had a child on set, so
they can't be showing nudity to children.
Especially that size. That would kill that kid.
Although back in the day, they probably didn't give a shit.
If that kid was to fall over by accident running and the guy was to slip, that would kill. It'd be like that one woman that had sex with a horse and died.
I mean, anyways, fair enough. I don't know how we got into that subject.
Got onto a different.
But I'd say that I felt very sad for the infected though. I don't know why, because I felt like there was the initiation with Spike and his dad, whose name I can't actually remember.
I think it's called Jamie.
Yeah, oh yeah, but it was just
Jamie?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
You're right,
obviously.
Squeak. Come on, lad. That's a good boy.
I mean, I didn't know how to
Jamie.
take Aaron Taylor Johnson's character at the beginning because he seemed to be enjoying killing the infected for sport. And however, I do know that obviously when all of this occurred in that universe, a lot of people had lost their lives. So a lot of humanity has been lost in that sense. But I didn't like the fact that they were already on this little island, you know, like not really needing to go out there to kill anybody, maybe to harvest food or to go on the mainland to do work, you know, to obviously get more supplies, I guess. But I just didn't see the purpose of just going out there to kill them because they made it seem really fun and enjoyable. And I felt really sad for them because I thought it's not really their fault that they've been inflicted with this thing. So I was very on the fence about it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the fact afterwards when they went back after Spike had gotten his first kill. I didn't like the fact that they were celebrating and saying, oh, you know, these fat people, like, you know, doing all of that. I didn't enjoy that.
That's what I was going to say. At the beginning, he kind of looked like he was nice, weren't he? Like, just doing it for... But I think it was, what was it? He was like cheering. He said, oh, he gets up and he's like, that fat bastard. And then he says that. He started screaming like a little baby.
I mean, maybe that's the little funny. Fat girl in me.
I found it funny when he was like, started screaming, ah! Like, that did make me laugh.
I mean, maybe that's just the fat girl in me that doesn't enjoy that. Well, not the fat girl in me. There's a whole lot of fat around here. But I just didn't... Shush. But maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it, because I just found it very barbaric. And really, I feel like if you're going to do that, do it with a bit of dignity, or give those people dignity because they were somebody's like daughters, sons.
Yep, exactly.
You know, somebody's children at one point. You should handle something like that with dignity. And I do understand that they would have had to, you know, do the whole initiation thing to see if he could actually kill. Because if you're going out onto the mainland, you could be on your own. You could get cornered off by maybe 10 infected, and you are going to need to know what to do in that situation. Mm-hmm. But I think handle something like that with a bit more grace. And yeah. What were you going to say? Any next parts? I can't really I can remember.
It's kind of like the plot
a lot,
to me. Like,
but
it
not
kind
a
of
lot.
feels like there's very weird phases because you have the opening, which is obviously the training, the introduction to the new world. Then it kind of happens very quick from there, and then it kind of slows down a bit. Like, obviously, we just see then the dad's not as... I wouldn't say the dad's evil, because he's probably got a lot on his plate.
Bit of a cheater,
and I think you can... But you can tell that he does love his son and he is just doing it for his best interest. But then it kind of shifts gear very quickly. It's like all of a sudden the kids...
shit out of him. I did not like that.
All of a sudden the kid's like, I'm going to find this doctor because his mum's sick. And then it's like, before you know it, it's like they're already out there travelling. So it's...
I mean, the beginning, I did enjoy the visuals as well. I've just got to say that. Like, because didn't you say the director wanted it to be...
Yeah, apparently it was...
The infected.
You could see...
He wanted it to be from the point of view of what they would be seeing, like the reds.
I think that's why when they were walking, a lot of people said, why is it reds? But that's how they would see it. It kind of like a night vision. And
I didn't like them killing the deer.
I think as well, the reason it showed all those medieval things, it was meant to show how we've gone so far back. Like, even though it's only 28 years later, everyone's using crossbows. The way they're trained and the firing is very like medieval times.
Yeah, such a different world.
Of the sky at night, because a lot of people would say how it looked, because you could see almost like you could see the Northern Lights, and it's, I guess,
that was a stunning
because
shot.
There'd be no light pollution. So I mean, that the way things are now around England, like global warming, whatever you want to call it, climate change. You know, you don't really see the sky's not really clear because there's so much light pollution, whereas it kind of takes you back like a couple hundred years, well, maybe even 1,000 years.
Absolutely. And this is why I think we should vote Green Party, but however, that'll never happen because they are more environmentalists. I mean, there was one particular scene that I found the most tense was when there was all that stampede of deer running away from the infected, and I thought the fucking floor was going to drop on both of them because they had to hide at the top because they found, what was it, an alpha.
Yeah, an alpha, and it was
And-
basically like he would have fucked them up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we saw him rip some guys.
Yeah,
head
the alpha
apart
can
pretty
literally
much
just pull
straight
their head
away.
off and
And,
their
yeah.
spine and just fucking smack the shit out of people. With
I
it.
mean, when they fell to the bottom and they were in complete darkness and they were trying to get out of the house, I thought, oh my God. I actually thought this is going to be it for like either one of them because I thought, well, they're not in. They've only been in a little bit of the trailer. We haven't seen a lot, which I really enjoyed the fact we didn't see so much in the trailer. I mean, we saw all the
Yeah.
main bits, but we didn't actually know what kind of story we were going to get. But it was the bit where they had to run back to the village from the mainland, and there's this almost like stone path leading all the way up there, but the tide goes in, doesn't it, at a certain
Yeah.
point? That's what they said in the film. And they had to run, and well, they were kind of like walking, which pissed me off a bit. Like they were kind of dawdling, walking along, like,
Yeah, I
"Ha,
think
well
they
done, we
I
got our
think they
first
just
kill."
thought
Like,
they
oh, we got.
away with it, didn't they?
I know, but if that were me, if you lived in that kind of world, I'm dead paranoid now as it is. I have to take a picture of a video of when I lock the front door at night, just so I know that it's locked, which might seem a bit crazy and a bit OCD, but I have to do it. So imagine me in a world like that. I would be super paranoid and I would be a lot more careful. I probably would have moved a lot more quickly than they would have done.
Yeah.
But it was so tense because you saw the alpha running at them and they were kind of like, you didn't know if they were going to get away. I think that's the most I felt like. I was like, oh my God, I actually don't know if I can watch this. I'm freaking out. Like, because what if I actually thought the dad was going to get killed.
Yeah, I thought he was done for.
Although he wasn't in it that much, Aaron Taylor-Johnson. He was like
kind of in the
barely in
intro
it.
scene and then kind of towards the end. I'm guessing because it's going to be a trilogy. I'm guessing it's going to be a bit more relevant in the second one.
But yeah, obviously it was led up to the point from the village. Obviously, Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character slapping the shit out of his son for rightly confronting him for cheating on his mum.
I only slapped him once. He's all right.
I know, but like, it still wasn't nice. So you should never hit your kid. If your kid says to you, "Hey, you've been cheating," your automatic reaction shouldn't be, "Oh yeah, I'm going to slap you now," because how is that?
I'm going to lean against him.
Because how is that fair to do? I'm not leaning back because I've got a whole lot of chub that I don't want people to see.
I want to pinch your pillow.
No, you haven't.
That's more crazy.
All right,
I got a sore back. Yeah, this is crazy.
Comfy now. But yeah, it led from them going back to the mainland, him and his mum, but she was kind of confused and talking to herself a bit, and which was obviously Jodie Comer's character in it, but she didn't really have a lot of screen time either. I'd say she was just kind of there lingering at that.
I'd say the kid.
He was the main character.
What was he? Oh, he's called Spike. I was going to say Alfie, but I think he's called Alfie in real life. But he did a really
fabulous
good job.
little actor, though. I actually thought he did so good.
I mean, this is the first thing I've seen him in. He may have been in other things, but I mean, I was saying, weren't I, as a young actor for him, how amazing, because he's gone in with Aaron
you'd be
Taylor
buzzing
Johnson,
your tits off, wouldn't you?
who's like been in a lot, but then also to share scene like intense scenes with like Ralph Fiennes, like how amazing that would be. And then obviously we'll wait till the end to say about the ending. But then the way it sets off, he's then going to work with another bunch of great actors in the second film.
Oh, who else
possibly
was in
a
it?
third film.
Ralph Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes.
Fiennes.
Yeah,
that's
he
it,
was
not
in it as the
Phineas.
doctor. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
They kept calling him Doctor.
I want to say Carlson, but I feel like that's wrong still.
It was something along those lines.
But I mean, he was kind of an interesting character as well, because when the Aaron Taylor-Johnson and the character Spike, when they were in the attic at the top, when they were looking at, like, Spike saw this fire all the way over God knows where, and he was like, "Oh, what's over there?" And like the dad kind of was like, "Oh, like it's nothing." But then I think one of his friends let it slip later on when he was back at the house, like, "Oh yeah, he used to be like a really great doctor," and then Aaron Taylor-Johnson told him the story like, "Oh, he was just burning all these bodies and we thought he was nuts, so he just like got away whilst we still could and never went back." So that's who he was going to with Jodie Comer, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was a really good guy though, because I remember even in the trailer, the way he's just dressed up with that apron covered in the thing, you think he looks like a bit like a crackhead.
Yeah.
But he seemed like a really down to earth bloke, and obviously he was covering himself in like iodine or something because he said that the infection didn't like it. I don't really know what that meant.
Maybe the smell of it.
Yeah.
They didn't agree with it, but there were some really great moments in this that I didn't expect. There was a really shocking actor, well, surprise guest for me, because I watched Young Royals when I guess it kind of came out like a year after it came out. And the actor that plays Wilhelm, as they say in Sweden, although I can't remember the actor's name, he showed up as a soldier. That it kind of just went off on its own thing when Spike and Jodie Comer were walking to find the Doctor, which may sound like trying to find Doctor Who, but it's not. But then there was a kind of little bit of that where they went into this building that wasn't there, where they were patrolling, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like this big fucking alpha showed up and basically pulled both of their heads off, and he barely got away. The character from Young Royals did. I wasn't expecting to have an American, well, you know, obviously to be speaking English in the film, because he spoke a lot of Swedish at first, so I thought, oh, maybe he's just going to do that throughout the film. Although he wasn't in it for that much long either. He pretty much met the same fate after.
Yeah, he got his head pulled off as well.
After that, isn't it when they went to that train station, that abandoned one, because they could hear all that screaming, and for some reason, and I don't know how it happened, but there was a pregnant, infected woman. Jodie Comer is comforting her, helping her, and the baby comes out normal, which I was very, very shocked by. I thought, oh wow, but didn't
the doctor said, did he, the placenta? So I'm wondering if maybe, I mean, I'm no doctor, but maybe the placenta or something kept it, which is, it kind of begs the question, they infected that rage because they're not officially zombies. I guess it's like kind of when you have like a wild animal, sometimes when they have like cats, you could have a vicious cat, but when they're pregnant or they give birth, they kind of have a soft side to them. Do you mean like their mother instincts come out? And I'm wondering if that, because it seemed like when that baby was giving birth, she was kind of
that baby was giving birth.
The baby was coming out, but then it's like the second they cut the umbilical cord, she tried to attack him and kill him.
That scared the shit out of you. I remember just seeing him go like that.
I jumped out of my seat.
Where I was just, I don't really get scared, like I've said before, like in these videos, but I do kind of blink when something like that happens. I'm just like, oh, like, wow. Okay,
and then that makes it scary, because it's like, now the infected, they have chances to, they're breeding.
Yeah, which I didn't expect them to do, but the size of that bloody wood, I'm not surprised there was shagging going around on those alphas, because fan's just gone off, but that nearly poked my fucking eye out on the screen. I was like, bloody hell.
Surprised they didn't make that film 3D.
I'm glad
it's just a bunch of rollover hot dogs that slapping up against your chair.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you
want to see. That's what you do. You do not want to see that go.
It's not what you bargained for anyway.
Definitely not.
Just press stick to the hot dog sausages they have there at the cinema and not the ones on the screen. But yeah, there was a lot of building up to it. There's a few bits that I have forgotten in between because it was last night and I forget what I've eaten by the next day half the time. But they found the Doctor and there was this big tower of bones, skulls and bones all around them, which I did find very eerie because I think this is after he finds them, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
The main Doctor, what's his favourite? Ralph.
Yeah, I can't remember what he's called.
I can't remember, but the Doctor's name.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
We're not very good with names, either of us. I mean, it took me ages to learn anybody's name, really. It took me about 20 years to remember when it was mum and dad's birthday, and it's on the same day. But yeah, it was very interesting. A lot going on for it. I love the music score. The visuals are so beautiful, pretty much all the way through. And it was just the most tense, like I've said, that I felt in my life watching something. And then you sit down and find out that basically Jodie Comer's character had cancer, which I kind of suspected anyway, because she was having nosebleeds, she was hallucinating, delirious. So obviously I thought if she's got cancer, it's probably travelled to her brain. And she's probably got a tumour now in her head. That's what I was thinking. Because he said there were like loads of lymph nodes around the breasts and loads of lumps, and she kind of already knew anyway, didn't she? She was like, I suspected.
Yeah, I think she just didn't know how to tell him.
which I feel like they should have done anyway, because they risked like their life so much to
But at
get
least
to
they
that
found
point.
that baby, so that baby now has a life.
That's true, because I'm not going to lie, those infected probably would have beaten it to death, as
they would
horrible
have
it is
beaten
to
it,
say.
probably.
Yeah, which is a very disturbing and dark place to go or even think about. But it was very good up until that point, and it was very interesting. Didn't we both think that the alpha was trying to get the baby back? Because
Yeah, I think that's what it was doing. That's my logic, anyways, because it kind of seemed to keep running at him. But then it's a weird one, because would that have actually been nice to it, or would it have just eaten it?
I don't know. I don't think
Because
that's a
it kind of
place
looked a
that I
bit
want
sad
to
when
think
it saw
about.
the one dead. Like he
Yeah.
almost like picked her up like he was checking, and then that's when he kind of got mad, didn't he, and started going
Crazy,
like when he
yeah.
was screaming and stuff.
But yeah, it was very good. Like, I keep using the word good, but there's no other word to describe it. But yeah, it was just very, very weird. And the weirdest part of the whole film was definitely the ending. After he, didn't he, Spike kind of drops the baby off back at the village, but he doesn't tell anybody. He just leaves his dad a note saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
don't come for me, don't find me."
He just wants to go off on his own.
Which, that's really brave for a
Excuse me.
for a 12-year-old to do that, and nearly
Yeah.
said 10. Because didn't they say that they at the beginning they were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure
Yeah,
you
they
want to
said
do
normally
this?"
like 15 or 16 is the right age, so
I wouldn't have done that at any
12.
age.
I mean, fair play. I wouldn't be able to do that now as an adult, so
I wouldn't have done that at any bloody age, I'll tell you that now. But then the weirdest part was definitely he was just sitting there, kind of, there was, the letter was being played in the background of what he was saying, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson kind of ran out. It was like, Spike! And it's like, mate, he didn't seem that bothered when he was missing for like a good day and a half. Where were you?
yeah.
You should have been on the
he could have
mainland
got-
looking
Yeah, I
for
thought he
him.
would have done, to be
You
honest.
know?
Yeah,
That
he
made
was
the
just sat
most
around.
logical sense. He was too busy shagging that bird to notice that
Maybe
he'd
the high
gone
tide
missing.
was in all day long.
Yeah, that's what he tells everybody. And meanwhile, he's knee deep in what's the face, Rosie. I think that was
she's
it.
called Rosie, yeah.
Because he was like, "Oh, you're gonna continue seeing Rosie like if Mum dies," and I think that's what spurred him off. But
Yeah.
I mean, fair play. You shouldn't have said that to your dad, but you also shouldn't hit a kid for
No,
pointing
definitely
out
not.
the obvious. You should really be apologising. Although, we also kind of agreed maybe because they knew she was ill already, maybe it was something they already agreed on.
Yeah. Maybe they'd already spoken about it and just. But yeah, the
ending.
interesting part to the ending. Do you want to say it?
No, you can say it.
Right, say
So I
it.
don't know. I was laughing too much. I found it that ridiculous.
So I knew that Jack O'Connell was going to be in this film because I remember hearing he got cast, but I remember thinking like I didn't know who he was going to be. So yeah, Spike's obviously there. He shoots off a zombie. He's on his own. He runs down this road and it's like some kind of quarry, but the road's been blocked, so he's kind of cornered. And you think, oh, he's done for. And then Jack O'Connell's character appears, who's also the little kid from the beginning of the film.
Oh yeah,
called
we forgot
Jimmy.
to mention the beginning. That was so weird as well, with the priest
Yeah.
loving getting ripped apart. Which, well,
I think he just thought it must have been like Rapture Day and that everyone infected would
So
have been
weird.
saved. But he pops up and is like, oh, you're going to need a hand with that. It's like, yeah. But the worst part is he's literally got the exact same jewellery, necklace, same tracksuit, hairstyle as Jimmy Savile.
which, if you know, is the most prolific paedophile TV presenter in history.
And then him and there's like 8 others, I think. They all jump in. But it's not even like
Looking
that.
like
It's
Teletubby Power
yeah,
Rangers.
it's literally, it starts playing the Teletubbies theme song, but like a heavy metal version. And then it's like they're all literally running and like doing flips in the air. And like they're literally doing Power Rangers moves, which is cool because it kind of, that's what they would have grown up on. But they're all called Jimmy. You can go online. I think even the woman, instead of called Jemima, she's called Jimmy Mima. But
which I thought that was Kelly from
oh no, yeah, the
Shameless, didn't I?
But they so I think he's called Sir Jimmy Crystal or something like that. So I'm guessing, but I made a good point, didn't I? I said it's kind of poetic, but not poetic, but to them, they wouldn't know about Jimmy Savile. They would have kind of, because obviously the infection started around like 2002.
Yeah.
So at that point, when that had happened, he would have grown up idolizing him. So he's probably gone round like killing rapists and stuff like that, thinking, "Oh, it's what Jimmy Savile would do," not knowing all along that's what Jimmy Savile. So it'll be intriguing. Is he going to be a child? Is he like a paedophile? A bit like.
I hope not.
I mean, I don't know because
I hope they don't go down
that wouldn't really
route.
make sense because, like I said, he wouldn't know about Jimmy Savile being that way.
I mean, really, Jimmy Savile didn't get found out till what was it? It was after his death, which was 2012, which was 10 years. Set after, I guess, 28 years later.
So it's intriguing, but then it's kind of like, is it going to be one of those where they're going to be villains? Because I've heard
I don't know.
I've heard that the theme for the first part is meant to be family, and the second theme is just meant to be pure evil. So I think that group's definitely wrong, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're cannibals or something really weird.
I hope not.
But I'm excited to see. That's the good thing. I didn't hate the ending. It was very comic booky.
Didn't we? We both just started laughing.
Kind of feel like characters out of like a Kingsman or like a Kick-Ass kind of film. You know, like those kind of comic book villains. But it was funny. It was
Sorry, I was still laughing. Thinking
you would not expect it if you'd said like, you know, Power Rangers, Teletubbies, Jimmy Savile. You wouldn't have thought those would be the three main themes.
But I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But all I know is everybody in that cinema that went to watch that film with us last night, that was in that room, you were all boring as fuck. Like, we were the only... yeah, but we were like pretty much the only people laughing like at the end of that bit. And then you just saw this bloke get up as soon as the lights came on, and we both were like, yeah, he clearly did not enjoy that film.
Unless he was in a rush.
Although I really liked it. I kind of wanted a bit more from it. I wanted a bit more lore from the village. I would have found that a bit more interesting to find out how that community came together. I would have even liked it if it was a bit culty, because, you know, obviously a lot of cults form during those sort of things. Have we seen like in The Walking Dead and that?
We've still got 2 more films, so we may see more of it. Obviously, Cillian Murphy's coming back in the next part. So I guess we got to wait and see. But
it was still better than
just making that one. So whether the theme will be completely different or not, so we just have to wait and see.
Still better than 28 Weeks Later. Which, if anybody bashes me in the comments, I love the beginning of 28 Weeks Later, but I just didn't like the whole thing of, oh, the mum's infected. Oh, nah, she's not infected. It was like just pick a struggle. I didn't like how Americanized it was. I think it's just because I loved 28 Days Later so much, and it had such a haunting aspect of loneliness and isolation, which is what it would feel like to be in a zombie apocalypse, or even in a world where people have lost their minds or were infected. But the common theme I found with obviously Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later and 28 Years Later is that the people are the worst. Like, it's not like the infected or even the zombies you have to worry about. Same thing with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's always the people, isn't it?
It's always the people that are the worst, because it is true. If we lived in a society or things just went all to hell and, you know, the whole world was just infected with, I don't even know, God knows what, you can guarantee there'd be no more laws. So that means a lot of rapists could go around doing whatever they liked, a lot of paedophiles, a lot of murderers. And I'd be more scared of bumping into actual people than I would infected people. Because I'd be like, well, you know, at least I can kind of kill an infected person, and, you know, it's not going to fight back. And I know that I didn't have a choice in that situation. But I'd be conflicted on killing another person, even if they would do the most heinous things to me. In that moment, I would be more afraid of seeing an actual person, particularly, and I don't want to say all men are like this, but a lot of really creepy men that would do whatever the hell they like to me and be like, oh, well, you know, we can't get arrested for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'd be screwed. Well, I think the majority of the female population would be screwed, and the men would be loving it. Because if you remember, in 28 Days Later, it was only a month.
Yeah.
And those soldiers were already like, where? We haven't got laid in a while. Like, where? Like, and they were going to assault a teenage girl just because they wanted to get their dicks wet. That's disgusting. Disgusting. Sorry, this one he may look like he's done with the world, but he said that he's low on blood sugar
I'm
at
feeling
the
really weak
moment.
and cheeky.
Cheeky.
Really weak and shaky.
I
today.
did tell
don't
him
know
to
what
do
it
this
is.
video after he'd eaten, but he was like, no,
it's
get out of
okay,
that
I'll
way
be
with.
alright.
Comments like, he's so done.
No, I'm
He's
not
fed
done.
up
I'm
with
just
her.
feeling like really. It's a weird feeling. I just keep feeling like I'm about to start twitching or like.
Well,
don't
don't
know,
worry.
just got
We're
no
going to get
energy.
you some pizza in a bit.
Sounds good.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up nicely. Banging film, I think. I don't agree with a lot of the hate this film is getting. I wish that it was getting more love, to be honest with you. Visuals were good. The acting was really good. Kind of wish there was a bit more to the story, but I liked it just enough.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, pretty much exactly what you said.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because this one's hungry.
I'm feeling so shaky. Not
Came
your
back
fault. I
in
got
here.
a stupid body.
But it's not your fault. You need to eat something soon, though. But I've been Vogue Baby, aka Lauren. I hope you enjoyed this.
I've been Reese, aka Reese.
Tell us what you think in the comments. Did you like the film? Did you not like it? Because a lot of people are probably going to be like, didn't like it. Oh, shit.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't liked it. But a lot of people have liked it. So I think it's very like Marmite at the minute.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one.
See you later, guys.
Bye.